16 years old? It is.
LGIM Ragnarok.
That is really working at those like zoom-ins.
Yeah, he was doing that at Code S yesterday too, I noticed.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's really impressive, I have to say.
Yeah.
There we have him, Ragnarok, former TSL player, up against the Terran to the top left, cross-positioned on Star Station. 15 years of age, it is the Marine Prince.
Maru Prime.
Maru.
Someone just dropped Legend of its intro zoom.
Yeah.
That was mean.
Well, you know, we are cross-spawns here, so this is a long rush distance, which means we probably won't see any Roach or Baneling aggression come out, but it may be the last thing that Maru expects as a result of this.
Yeah, it's a map where you can still pull it off, but especially on such a big map, scouting is everything. If you see that the Roach Baneling all-in is coming your way, then you should be able to prepare for it. And also, the way the map works, if you actually get this one siege tank out, it can cover nearly everything. Maru is doing what you would expect from him. I mean, if you see this map in particular, you would expect most Terran players to play maybe a little bit greedy and even throw down the command center first. But Maru is known to start with gas, to be aggressive, and to at least get a Reaper out for the scouting information. So no big surprise here to see him heading into the refinery early on in the game once more.
Yeah, going pretty quick here for that Reaper for sure. And it was not a gas first though, so he's going to have to wait a few moments before he can start that Reaper.
And Maru has the drone scout out now. Sorry, not Maru, but of course Ragnarok. We have him also going straight into gas before he takes his spawning pool. And one of the reasons why he can do this is also because he scouted to the top right and saw that the Terran player is not there. And he knows that even, I mean, on a map like this, a 4-player map, how big are the chances of you actually being proxied? In the middle of the map, yes, there could be something. Maru could pull it off, but it's not very likely.
Yeah, very unlikely on a map like this one especially. So, the drone does see that he's got a full wall there, and he sees the unit coming out, and he can expect that it's a Reaper, so he sends the drone home right away, doesn't want to lose it. And Maru makes a second Reaper, so he is definitely going to commit 100 gas here, trying to do a little bit of damage if he can. And he's going to scout the incorrect location first. This is really going to hurt, because it really weakens the strength of the Reaper when you do this. Oh, he sees the Overlord, though. He should realize he can turn around.
Yeah.
Doesn't, though.
Reaper still trying to get the scouting pattern now. And we have Maru going for a lot of Zerglings. Ragnarok, I'm not quite sure why I mix those two up in this situation. That doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah, Ragnarok is going for quite a few Zerglings. Something that you wouldn't really expect in this situation.
Yeah. A quick Hellion follow-up coming, though.
Waiting for the Reaper here.
Yeah, really nicely done. And Maru is actually pretty wise to this, too. He doesn't even try it. He's like, no.
He's getting the speed already, and with the Queens he will be able to do quite a bit here. Maru with a nice micro so far, but I'm curious to see what he wants to do with all those Zerglings, Ragnarok that is.
Nice save on that one Zergling, by the way. That was very, very cleverly done, and he doesn't lose anything so far. He will lose this drone, maybe. Nope, the Queen says no. Second Reaper's here, though.
Double command center now coming down from Maru. He's going into the 3 CCs. Here comes the second Reaper. Speed is already halfway done. The Queen so far doing a really good job keeping those Reapers at bay.
Yeah, the Reapers can swing back around now to the left side, and the Queen is just, one Queen is enough to push these back. He will have to be careful, though. Once the Reapers start the micro, he's going to have to get back and hide behind those Zerglings.
Yeah, Maru realizes that speed will kick in very soon, and that's why he retreats here. I'm still a little bit surprised that Ragnarok built this many Zerglings. Getting 8 Zerglings in the early game against Reapers gives you a lot of safety, but he could have relied on those Queens, and that's what we see most Zerg players do. As soon as they are being attacked by Reapers, they start to build a few Spore Crawlers, cancelling them with the drones to save them. But he did not have to get those Zerglings out there. Very safe opening for him.
Yeah, extremely so. Now he's going for a fast layer and adding another gas. We could see very possibly 2-base mutas coming out with this type of play, but it's a little bit less likely than some of the pressures we've seen. The question is, does he really want to attack early with a Roach Warning? Because there's the Roach Warning going down, but does he want to do that on this map? It's, like I said before, something that Maru definitely won't expect.
I think we are going to see a speed Roach attack by him, because he builds the Roach one at the ramp, and that will help him a little bit against Hellions if they try to sneak in, but the bigger reason why he builds it in this position is that he tries to hide it from scans.
Exactly.
So that is going to be quite dangerous for Maru. So far, we don't really have a Baneling Nest. I feel he's going to build the Baneling Nest later on, so this is a little bit of a different timing that we have here for him. But he's going to wait for speed. That's the reason why we see the lair here.
Yeah, Fuse Earling is already on the way. So he's probably going to add that Baneling Nest a little bit later. And
Nidus as well.
Okay, so he's really going to commit to this. It's not going to be in the main base. It could, he could try for it, but it's probably just going to be a forward Nidus. Oh, everything gets scouted by the Reaper. This is so well done by Maru.
That was really important here. Most of the Lings are already gone. The Hellions taking them out, but the scout was the most important part here. Maru jumps into the main base. He sees what's going on. He sees the Roachborn. He knows about the Nidus, and he will immediately try to keep those Overlords to the top left at bay. Yeah. You don't really have to get into the main base with the Nidus network. If you can, it's brilliant, it's awesome, but you don't have to. You can also just try to bust through at the front, but if it's scouted, then it's a completely different story.
I don't know about putting these Widow Mines over here. I think it would be better to just put them at the front. I actually don't like this. I think you should expect a more frontal attack at this point.
He already has the first Marauder out here, and he's getting another one, but he might even have to sack the low ground. I'm not quite sure if he can really hold that.
I'm surprised he's making more Hellions instead of Widow Mines right now, too. This is going to be extremely tough to hold, especially without those Widow Mines.
Not that tough, because the thing is, like, Ragnarok doesn't commit as heavily as you would expect him. He's going in double evolution chamber, so now that he's scouted, he still wants to apply some pressure, but it doesn't really look like he's going for a massive amount of roaches here.
This is so interesting. He's queued up 3 Nidus networks. Yeah. There's the second one, and there's the third.
That's a little bit weird, given that he's going for the double evolution chamber, which and also the drones, which indicates more that he wants to be, like, a bit more. I think he's just trying to contain.
Yeah, I was going to say, you think he's going to just try to contain and stop the third base? Because if he keeps spreading this creep around these Niduses, then it's going to be really annoying for Maru to take a third base ever. He's going to have to destroy so much creep. There's going to be speed roaches over there.
With the infestation pit, he's trying to go into a contain here, that's for sure.
That's awesome. I love this strategy so much. He's going to go into Swarm Mode, send them over there.
I love his flexibility. A lot of players would have just tried to go through with the all-in, trying to go for the roaches and then moving in. But he saw that he was scouted, and he analyzed immediately that it would probably not be able, that he would not be able to break through here, just because Maru has so much time to prepare. So now with triple Nidus at the front, a lot of queens, spreading creep, making sure that third base is not approachable for Maru. He's just containing his opponent, and so far doing a decent job with it.
Yeah, and he knows the starport's a little bit delayed here. He also has an overload to left side, so he knows about drops.
I don't think he will be able to get Swarm Hosts out there to the front. Maru is going to break out. But it's going to take a long time for the Terran player to clear all this creep and get his third base out.
That's what I think the general idea here is. He is actually going into the Pathogen Glands upgrade as well, so it looks like he's not even going to try for the Swarm Host. Scan goes down here. That's really beautiful scan timing there.
Baneling Nest also coming up, on one being researched, but now here comes Maru moving out, and this forces something that Ragnarok just simply can't beat.
Yeah, and he doesn't even try.
He shouldn't. He definitely shouldn't. But here, a lot of scans going down. A bit unfortunate. Did he get that one?
He did. He did get both of them. Well, actually, no. The one, there's one. Oh, that's just his Overlord.
Yeah, no, it's just the Overlord. He didn't get the creep tumor to the left side, unfortunately. That would have been even better for him, forcing out another scan. But there have been 3 scans used so far, and Maru uses the extra scan because he's not really aware that there is no creep tumor anymore.
And he's going to start another Nidus, and he will be able to get one more tumor down, I think. This is really unique play. We've never really seen something like this, like so heavily committed to.
He's investing a lot of resources and a lot of gas to block this third base for as long as possible. And you think it's worth it, but only if he gets those creep tumors.
It's going to be close. No, he's not going to get it. No.
That's a little bit unfortunate. It was a good idea, but Maru is on top of things.
I really, really like this idea. You know, the question now is, did it work out? It bought him a lot of time. He now has his investors up. And Maru couldn't hit really any aggressive timings with this. He had to focus so much on clearing the creep that delayed any attack that you might have wanted to do quite substantially.
But overall, I have to say, it is not really looking at it as if it's going to work this well. The Terran player is already on his way to get the second attack upgrade. We have him with a surplus in supply, being 30 supply ahead of his opponent. What Ragnarok can do here is go straight into the Ultralisk cover now that he has the Hive Tech done. But in general, I like the position for Maru a lot more.
I agree. You know, the idea did not work out as well as he liked it to. And another scan goes down here. Maru has such an aggressive push. The Ultralisk Cavern is not ready. Maru is up 30 army supply. And he has, you know, even upgrades.
Yeah, Maru is just looking a bit too strong here. There was such an investment by Ragnarok, and he delays it for a long time. But he's trying to just hold on right now, and with those investors he can do a decent job. But here comes the rest of Maru's units. He has a siege tank in the back,
perfect splits here by Maru. That one siege tank helping out quite a bit too, but it looks like his army will be cleaned up here.
Yeah, his army might be cleaned up and will be. He's trying to evacuate with those medivacs, but he's still ahead in overall supply. He has his third base now. His upgrades are still looking a little bit better, even though Ragnarok is now going into +2/+2.
Oh, Nidus in the main. Will he notice? It's right in his face. It doesn't look like he's noticed it just yet.
I like that.
If there are infestors in the main, this is a big problem.
I don't think he sees it, no.
Yeah, he definitely didn't notice.
His focus to the bottom right. Ah, this is beautiful.
Here come those infestors. Fungals go down immediately, so he can't run away.
And the Zerglings, they're closing the distance, taking down Harvester after Harvester. He retreats. I would have loved to see him just use one queen to put down a creep tumor just to play a few mind tricks here on Maru. But the move itself was a very interesting one.
Yeah, this is very unique Nidus network play, and I like it a lot. He saves the Overlord too, so he can try for it again later.
I'm not quite sure if it's really worth it. I mean, the investment for him is huge if you think about it. That was Nidus number, I think, 5.
Yes.
Overall,
yeah,
so
the 5th one.
that's a lot of resource that he puts into those Nidus, and he's on 3 bases, not really on 4. So he kills a few SCVs, but does that really give him such an edge with 3 command center and all the mules being there?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. He's definitely not going to hold this base. That's absolutely not happening. He's going to have to cancel that immediately. And does get the cancel. Drop going around.
Dropship on the way, but we have a huge force here for his opponent. Ragnarok is moving in with a good fungal.
Yep, takes out the siege tank this time, and not able to get any follow-up fungals though on those medivacs. Tries to save the last marine, doesn't work out.
It's really interesting play by Ragnarok. I mean, if not anything else, is at least very entertaining and very unique what we see here. But Maru is playing so far a very good series, very solid play, very solid performance. Trying to drop now in the main base, and he's keeping the Zerg player very small. Only 3 bases here for Ragnarok, and Maru has his 4th CC up. Is going to the additional upgrades, even though Ragnarok has a slight upgrade advantage now, being 1 armor upgrade ahead of his opponent.
Yeah. You know, there's the Ultralisk count is getting a little bit better here. He's now going up to 7. That's his 7th Ultralisk, and with all these attacks that he's going to start doing right now with a few of his Ultras, I think that he may be able to push the Prime player back, but he's got to be careful about those Widow Mines. Good shots go down.
Very marine heavy here for Maru. Here come those Fungals and the Ultralisks. They're moving and closing the distance, taking those fire units apart. Both of them at the same supply. Not enough Marauders here against the Ultralisks.
Yeah, the splitting very late by Maru, but it's still enough. But you know what? Ragnarok gets the better trade here, and he's going to be able to maybe save some of these Ultras. He's trying.
Yeah, big problem for Maru is that he does not have enough Marauders to deal with this. He is very marine heavy, and against Fungal, that just doesn't help him too much.
Yeah, Queens coming in at the last second here. Without those Queens, he would not be able to push this Terran army back, but he hits the Queens here at the last second and transfuses those Ultralisks. One more Fungal would do it, but he just does not have enough energy.
Yeah, and he's losing 2 of his Infestors, and he can't chase down this Terran army. He's running straight into those Widow Mines if he tries to pursue him, and that's not going to happen.
But he's forced to lift on this command center. He now has a 4th base secured, and he saved most of his Ultras, so that was a big ouch right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of DPS here for Maru, and Ragnarok has to be careful, even though he's a little bit ahead in overall supply. The Terran player is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
With the 3rd attack upgrade now not finished just yet, but on the way.
Yeah, that was a really, he did a great trade, but he wanted too much. He got a little bit too greedy with that next attack, and that hurt him a little bit. Now his supply advantage is not as much as it used to be, and I don't even know if he should push forward right now. I think he should just fall back to his 4th.
As soon as the 3-3 is done, or at least the attack upgrade for Maru, it's going to be a different game. And also the transition for Maru is now taking place. He's adding more and more Marauders, so the Ultralisks will struggle against this.
Yeah. He's taking out those Banelings really nicely as well, just getting some good trades. He's going to want to pick up here a bit late on that one.
Yeah, picking up and trying to get into the main base. But still, we have the 4th base now up for Ragnarok. He's heading into 3-3. We have him with more and more Ultralisks. The problem for him really being that he does not have the spank that you want against Terran.
Yeah. Ragnarok now down in supply. And Maru still has not really secured mining at his 4th base. He's got the command center over there, but his worker count is at a pretty low one at that 52, which means his army is about 20 supply higher than Ragnarok's.
But with the additional mules, it's fine. If he doesn't use all the energy for scans to determine the position of his opponent, then he can use those mules. But this is a situation where Ragnarok just can't afford to go for the Zerg style, where you trade armies and then reproduce immediately with the bank that you have. So he has to be very careful. He needs to keep the units alive. And the Ultralisk at the front, that's... Nope. No. Not where you want to be.
Definitely not where you want to be. Definitely taking some serious Punisher grenades there. And the Marauders continue to move forward here. He's not really able to pressure Maru anymore. Maru now about to close that upgrade gap.
I would love to see Ragnarok use the Nidus again to the top left with the Overlord that he still has positioned at the main base now that the Terran player is trying to push in at the bottom. He's
Really?
trying to approach his army, but those Widow Mines are immediately being burrowed.
Yeah, he's got a great flank here, but it's just not enough.
Ah, the Widow Mines getting such good shots off here, but the Bioforce is just melting away.
Yeah, and the Ultra is still remaining. The next wave of units, though, is going to be the problem. Plus, these Widow Mines getting some excellent hits on the Ultras. 2 Ultras go down instantly there.
2 Ultras are gone within a second, and now the Marines and Marauders are in pursuit, taking down those few remaining Ultras and the Infestors. Trying to flank, but too late.
Yeah, the flank a little bit late, and he did not hit that one fungal he had. It was a good idea, but, you know, eventually Maru is starting to get closer and closer to that 4th base. He might be able to start attacking it directly soon.
Maru is forcing the creep back, and that gave Ragnarok an edge earlier in the fights. Now once again the flank of the Zerg player moving in with his army, but we don't have enough fire units, I feel, for Maru. He needs to retreat here, and this stutter step is good. The medevac's making all the difference here.
Yeah, the Widow Mine's really helping out quite a bit as well. He gets some great shots on the Ultras, but as you can see, he's starting to dwindle in supply a little bit here. He wants to get this 4th hatchery. If he can target it down and get away, that would be exactly what he needs, and I think he may just be able to do it.
He has the DPS to pull it off, and he's moving in. He is holding firm and taking down the hatch.
He doesn't dodge the fungal, though. He does not boost away fast enough. Now he's potentially going to lose his entire army.
Well, he's going to lose those medevacs. Oh no, the last fungal is... There it is. At least 2 of the medevacs are down. But yeah, he's down in supply now, but I don't really think that this is going to change anything with the Widow Mine still being active. He's taking down 3 of them, might force a lift on the 4th, but Maru has a really good army and can move in again. He even has the Planetary now. The Ultralisks, they will take it down, but he's going to lose a lot of them.
Yeah, you know, losing this Ultralist army is a lot harder to replace than the army of Maru we just saw die. One fungal goes off, but he's not quite able to kill it. And you know what?
No,
I don't really like this trade.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't like the trade either. He takes the Planetary down. That's something that he can do here, but still, he's losing way too much for it.
Yeah, this Ultra is definitely going to die too.
Yeah. Ultralisk is gone, the Zerglings as well. Ragnarok is playing a strong game here, a very unique style that he's showing us today, but Maru is just on par with him. And now the Zerg trying to get his 4th base up, and also the 5th, of course, building 2 hatches at once. Maru is just relocating one of his CCs.
Yeah.
I really like the position for the Terran player, I have to admit. Ragnarok is playing a very cool game, but Maru is just playing the solid TVZ that we're used to seeing from him.
Yeah, and he continues to rally units across, and because his army is much easier to replace, it's much more cost efficient and versatile. I feel like he's going to eventually wear Ragnarok down once he starts to kill those expensive units. He kills the Infestors, he gets the Ultras, now he's killing drones.
The splits are good for Maru so far, dodging those fungals a lot better than in the early stages of the game. He's down to 38 SCVs. This means that he has nearly the same. He has more army supply, a lot more army supply than his opponent.
And he's going to get this hatchery yet again while he resecures his 4th base. Good fungals, though.
Ragnarok is moving in. This might be his last stand. He's still ahead in overall supply, but he's losing his Ultralisks now one by one.
Yeah, once the Ultralisks are gone, he's got nothing left really in his army that can fight. All of his Infestors are out of energy. And like you said before, the army supply of the Prime player was just much, much higher there.
Exactly, it definitely is. And Ragnarok is desperately trying to get his army back into play, but Maru is just completely merciless, moving in and taking down those Infestors. That's something that he can't afford to lose anymore. They are even out of energy. They can't do anything about it.
Exactly, you know, there's nowhere to run at this point. Sent a few Banelings in, but that's too much. GG.